Welcome. Today I bring you the preview of the next chapter of The Ambassador's Daughter. Geddes tells Nair that it hurts him that she doesn't return his love, but that seeing her suffer because of Sanjar makes him crazy. Nair says that she doesn't suffer so much, but Geddes asks her not to lie to him. Geddes says that he loved Sanjar very much, but when he saw how much she suffered because of him, the fights and arguments started. So even if she forgives Sanjar or Sanjar forgives him, they can't reconcile. Nair asks her if this is how things will be even when she leaves. But Geddes tells her that her feud with Sanjar will only end when one of them leaves, so it's not about her, so Nair leaves upset. Moog and Rafika see her, so they ask her what she is doing there. Nair just says if they want to settle things between Sanjar and Geddes, go to the mansion for the night. Nair leaves the house, so Sanjar angrily drags her to the car. She angrily asks him what's wrong with her, but Sanjar just shuts her up and drives off. Nair angrily asks him to stop and gets out of the car. He follows her. So Nair asks him if he is so upset because he took her to see Geddes. Sanjar yells at her that Geddes is in love with her, so Nair yells at him that Manek loves him, and despite that he locked her in the mansion not caring how she felt about having to live with her. Sanjar says that then she should shout that he is hers and forbid him to be with other women. But since she is not capable, she has no right to mention Manek to defend Geddes, and that if she wants to do something she should do it or else behave. Nair says that if there is anything she wants to do, it is to not let them separate because of him and get custody of their daughter and go away from him so she will never see him or Manek again. Sanjar says that if she says again that she will leave, he will kiss her, but Nair just goes to the car. Several doctors go to see Manek. So Atik is scared to see them and says that Manek is in the bathroom. Atik goes to tell Manek that the doctor arrived, so Manek is scared since if they do an ultrasound they are going to find out that she lost the baby. Sanjar and Nair arrive at the mansion. While Halise receives the doctors and asks why they have not entered to see Manek, Gulsier answers that Atik did not allow them to enter, so Halise opens the door. Manek comes out and says that she does not want to be examined since Sanjar does not comply as a husband, so he has no reason to be the father of her child. So while Sanjar goes out with his lover, she is not going to allow them to examine her. Sanjar and Nair enter the house, finding everyone upset, so Sanjar asks what is going on. Elvan tells him that his supposed wife does not want to be examined if he is not present. Sanjar looks at Nair with concern. She remembers her stay in the psychiatric ward, where she stayed all her pregnancy without knowing anything about Sanjar. Nair tells Sanjar that Manek is right and that it is very difficult to be pregnant feeling the loneliness and the lack of support from someone, so he should go with his wife. Nair asks for Melik and goes to see her. Sanjar sadly tries to go after her. Meanwhile, Manek and Atik are distressed. Atik tells her that for now she is safe, but at some point Sanjar will arrive and asks what they will do when that happens. Manek answers that she doesn't know, but when that happens they will think of something. At that moment Sanjar enters the room and makes the doctors come in, so Manek gets nervous. Sanjar says that he is already there to accompany her during the ultrasound. So Manek lies down and the doctors get ready to do the exam. However, they see that there is no baby, so everyone is shocked. The doctor says maybe the device is not working, so Manek and Atik smile relieved. So Sanjar says he will go get the device fixed and then they will call him. Everyone leaves the room and Halise asks Sanjar to talk about Geddes, but he says later and leaves. Manek Happy says he was very lucky, so Nekdet reveals that he was the one who broke the device, so Manek Happy hugs him. Nekdet says he won't let them be taken out of the mansion. Manek says she was very scared that everyone found out about her miscarriage before she got rid of Nair and thanks her brother. Nair goes to see her daughter. Elvan and Zara go to ask Nair where she went so early, so Nair goes with them to the kitchen to talk without Melik finding out. Meanwhile, Geddes reviews the documents from Sanjar's lawyers about dividing their properties together. Moog asks him if he is going to fight for anything, but Geddes says he doesn't care how the properties are divided because he is going to get everything back. Moog asks him if he is going to try to take what he has left from Sanjar. Geddes says that is what Sanjar will do now that they are enemies. Moog says they are crazy to try to do to each other what they did to Karaman and sabotage each other. Geddes replies that one of them will destroy the other, so he should pray that they are not the ones who will lose. Rafika angrily asks him what he means. Geddes says they will either be left with nothing or they will take everything from the Efegalus. Elvan and Zara ask Nair what is going on. Nair says she plans to bring the two families together to talk about Geddes and Sanjar, as they can't allow them to be separated. They also comment that she also wants to invite Yaya, so Elvan gets angry and asks her why she wants to talk to the one who kidnapped her. Yaya calls Karaman to ask to meet. Then Yaya calls Sanjar to tell him that he is going to meet Karaman. Sanjar warns him to be careful as Karaman is cunning and could find them out. Yaya assures him that he will be careful and asks about Loki, but Sanjar says that there is no news and it seems that Karaman is behaving himself. Yaya says he'll go see if there's anything that catches his attention. Sanjar says he'll be early for the meeting to pretend they met by chance. So Yaya asks him not to hit him so hard this time. But Sanjar says he'll hit him harder this time because of all the mistakes he's made with him. Yaya comments that he seems to love hitting him and hangs up. Guven goes to meet Karaman to give him a briefcase full of Akin's money. Karaman warns him to be careful about Geddes or Sanjar finding out. But Guven assures him that everything will be fine if he keeps his word and gives him a seat on the board and gives him his share. Karaman says there is nothing to worry about. Guven asks him if then they should not worry about Geddes and Sanjar not agreeing to work with him. Karaman assures him that there will be no problem as everything is very confused because Geddes and Sanjar ended their business relationship and there is nothing to worry about because they will not interfere when they have so many problems to take care of. At that moment Yaya arrives so Karaman receives him. Yaya asks why Guven is there. Karaman says that Guven is helping him to increase his capital and goes with him to the office. Karaman asks him what he wants. So Yaya says that they both know that he did not make a deal with Akin and he is responsible for what happened. Karaman asks him for proof. Yaya says there is no need for proof when everything is so obvious. He says he knows he kidnapped Nair in exchange for Akin's money. And to get off the hook he had Akin transfer 2 million to his account and the rest he would give to Guven, who would take it in cash, so that there would be no trace of the transaction. Karaman is surprised that he found out everything. Then Yaya says that the only thing he can't understand is why a father would agree to cooperate with those who kidnapped his daughter, but he is not surprised since Guven has always hurt Nair. Karaman asks him what he wants and if he expects him to confess, asking if he is recording the conversation on the sly or if he is a spy of Sanjar. Yaya shows the beatings Sanjar has given him, so Karaman asks him what he wants then. Yaya says he doesn't plan to give him the 2 million he received from Akin and wants to offer him his share of the shares in the port for a good amount of money. Karaman is happy and says it's a good idea, as Sanjar has hurt him so much that it's a good revenge, and asks him if indeed his anger is so much. Yaya replies that he has not been bothered by the beatings, but it hurts him to know that no one trusts him and blames him even being innocent, and that it hurts him to see that his brother trusts his enemy more than him, so he asks him if he will buy his share. Sanjar arrives at the port and sees Yaya leaving. Yaya warns him of a camera and sends him a message saying that Guven is on the terrace as he apparently wants to pretend together with Karaman that he made a deal abroad to justify a large sum of money to expand the capital so that Karaman does not lose the port, but that Karaman still did not admit that this money is from Akin. He says that Karaman wants to buy his shares but he has no money for it, so maybe he will get more money from Akin. Yaya leaves. So Sanjar pretends fury and beats Yaya, shouting that he does not want him near the mansion or his companies. While Guven sees it all, Sanjar beats Yaya. Meanwhile Karaman receives news from his spy about what is happening in the mansion and asks him to find out if Yaya is really angry with Sanjar or if he is being set up. At that moment Guven arrives to warn him about the beating that Sanjar is giving to Yaya. So Karaman runs to see him and stops Sanjar, who angrily yells at Yaya while Guven takes him away. Karaman sees Sanjar's bloody hand and takes him inside while Sanjar keeps yelling at Yaya in the distance. Elvan calls Yaya to ask him to go to the mansion, but Yaya says he is not going to go to the place he was kicked out of. Elvan just tells him to go and that she is in charge of getting him to enter the house. Karaman helps Sanjar and comments that lately he seems to have a lot of problems, the kidnapping, his brother's betrayal and his fight with Geddes. At that moment Geddes arrives for the meeting and seeing each other they remember when they entered that port together to destroy Karaman. Geddes approaches them so Karaman scoffs. Geddes asks him if he found the money or why he called them. So Karaman takes them to Guven, saying that they got the money they needed and so they won't be able to get rid of it. Geddes asks what Guven gains from it. Karaman says that Guven will now become part of the board and is now his partner. Geddes says that he will not partner with him, but Sanjar welcomes Guven as part of the partnership, asking to put the problems they had behind them. Geddes stands up and asks if he has suddenly become friends with his old enemies, to which Sanjar says that if old friends become enemies, enemies can become friends. Geddes gets upset. While Guven asks Sanjar about Nair, Sanjar tells him that he is fine and if he wants he can go to dinner with him. Rafika arrives for dinner and sits next to Rafika and Nair. Nair comments that they are expecting another guest. Yahya arrives at the mansion, so Gulsiye shows him in and takes him to the table. Yahya approaches them. So Halis is surprised to see him and asks him if Sanjar didn't kick him out. Yahya says that Elvan summoned him there. Elvan says that Nair was the one who invited Yahya to talk to everyone about something. Nair asks Kavurik to take Melik away and then asks Yahya to sit down, saying he doesn't want to talk about what he did to her, but something else. Yahya takes a seat while Elvan glares at him. Nair asks Halis and Rafika if they still agree to custody. They both nod, so Nair tells Yahya that they will help her get custody of Melik so she can leave and Sanjar and Geddes can reconcile. Yahya asks her if she called him to ask him for help with it even though everyone thinks he kidnapped her. Nair says no, but also has another problem. She says she needs Moog to testify as a psychiatrist that she is fit to be a mother. Moog asks her if Sanjar is going to put that in the trial. Nair says yes, so everyone gets offended. Nair says she gave birth in a mental hospital because she jumped off a cliff. Everyone is surprised and confused. Yahya asks her if she didn't abandon Sanjar and Halis asks why she did it, but Nair refuses to reveal to them about it. But Elvan and Zara say they are going to say it in the trial, but Nair asks them not to talk about the past. Halis asks what happened in the mental hospital. Nair replies that Guven made papers to have her declared mentally unstable and Sanjar found those papers to use in the trial to take Melik away from her. Everyone is disappointed in Sanjar. While Nair asks Moog to help her prove she is fit to be a mother, Moog agrees. Yahya says even if she wins custody and leaves Sanjar and Geddes will not reconcile as even the trial for division of assets is the next day. Nair tells her that's why she called him. As for the division to be done, all the signatures of the partners must be there and everyone there are partners in the companies and can ask for the power of their shares. So even if Sanjar and Geddes separate, the families can stay together. Everyone is happy with the idea and praises her for her cleverness. Geddes and Sanjar meet with their respective lawyers. Yahya goes to Nair regretting what happened years ago when she jumped off a cliff. Nair refuses to talk about it with him, but Yahya apologizes for everything he has done to her, admitting he got Nekdet out of jail and gave her daughter to Manek, but assures her he did not give her to a kin. Nair asks why she should believe him. Yahya says Sanjar believes in him, so Nair is surprised. Yahya says that he and Sanjar are investigating those who hurt her and if he wants he can ask Sanjar about it. He also reminds her that he was there when she married Sanjar and that he wouldn't kidnap her since he couldn't sell his brother's wife to someone else. But Nair says she's not married to Sanjar and asks him where he's staying, offering her his house so she can live there while she can't return to the mansion. And so we end this preview. Until next time.